Let me start with a question. Have you ever left a conversation feeling frustrated or annoyed because you felt that you were unable to get your ideas across to the other person? Or maybe you've been in a situation where you felt that your ideas, your thoughts, did not come across the way you intended them for. Many people will simply attribute this to a lack of confidence or a lack of knowledge regarding the subject, or even faulty public speaking. However, the real problem lies within the inability to communicate effectively, but more importantly, how to make yourself understood. So in this video, I want to talk about what it actually means to be a communicator, but more importantly, actionable ways in which you can help your ideas come across as sensible and actionable to the other individuals. Let's start off with a common misconception. Many people believe that communication simply comes by talking out loud. I'm communicating with you, the audience, through this very video. But capturing that definition misses so much more. Because communication in reality is the transfer of ideas from one individual to the other, rather than merely talking and ranting, hoping for something to stick. Good communicators have the ability to translate complex and far-fetched ideas into simple and actionable steps. Imagine you have an idea in your mind. Your job as a communicator is then to get that idea and translate it into simple methods for your audience. By adopting this approach, we see that communication is much broader, and what we have to work on as communicators is skills and methods by which we can translate these ideas. Psychologists often call this faulty communication as the curse of knowledge. In other words, when you're passionate or extremely knowledgeable about a topic or item, it's often very difficult for you, the individual, to effectively communicate it to other people. As a result, we often skip points. We go from point A to point D, skipping points B and C, leaving out the complete explanation. This is why we see many experts who sometimes struggle to convey their fields or ideas towards other individuals. I want you to think of communication as a house. What's the difference, I ask, between a pile of bricks and a fully built house? They're made of the same materials, but the difference lies in their organization. You see, if we were to treat our ideas in a similar way, by simply piling our ideas in a random fashion, we risk transforming it into a pile of bricks, unable to communicate our point across. However, by consciously organizing our ideas into clear structures and points, we give those ideas value, similar to how a house is obviously much more valuable than a pile of bricks. If your structure is clear, the audience can easily follow you. For instance, let me talk about dogs. Dogs are small and lovable creatures that happen to be greatly compatible with human society. Furthermore, they're lovable, they're interesting, they can come in a variety of colors. See how what I just said was difficult to understand. But more importantly, notice how I was also repeating things. That is something that can happen when you speak complex, or even large ideas without a clear and understandable structure. On the other hand, if I were to say dogs are fun creatures, today I'm going to discuss the importance of dogs in our day-to-day lives, traits that dogs have, why people prefer pups over kittens. Then, I give my audience a structure for them to follow. I'm no longer merely saying what's on my mind, but I'm following a strict set of ideas which prevent me from going off topic, but more importantly, can help the audience understand what you're trying to say. Another principle that can drastically improve your communication is simplicity. Sometimes the most complex ideas are difficult for your audience to understand, and that's okay. The solution then is to break down those complex ideas into simple and understandable steps. For instance, think about the best teachers you've ever had in your life. They could be school teachers, mentors, friends. They likely didn't use complex and far-fetched vocabulary to sound smart. You admired them and you learned from them because they had the ability to explain complex ideas into simple and understandable ways. Oftentimes, when we're passionate about a topic or concept, we try to explain it in the most complex way possible that still makes sense to us. However, the alternative for that is explaining that idea into bits and pieces, breaking up that massive paragraph into understandable and digestible sentences for your audience to clearly observe. Another often overlooked importance is slowing down. Because at the end, when we're passionate about a topic, when we want to communicate, our voice will often follow the intensity of our thoughts. And naturally, when you're passionate, your thoughts are zooming. You naturally want to say everything you can, and so you're speaking fast, just as I am doing right now. You might not understand me because I'm speaking at such a fast speed, but because I'm so passionate about communication, I am naturally speaking in a way that makes sense to me, but not necessarily to the audience. But if I were to take a step back right now, just as I am doing, you'll find I am much easier to understand. I am talking in a slow, understandable voice. Including this variety in your communication can help you better improve and sound more intelligent and articulate. Because look at the best speakers in our world. They're successful not because they rant infinite ideas in a finite amount of time, but because they are aware. Speaking in a slow and varied pace, including pauses and silences and other elements of public speaking to ultimately better their communication. In a similar way, when you're given the opportunity to communicate, whether that be in a meeting, in a class, or even an interview, let's say, speak with purpose. Each of your words must carry an amount of weight to it that only emphasizes and adds to your overall message. Furthermore, speaking in this simple, slow, and understandable manner help you communicate your ideas, your passions, and give them structure as well as weight. These principles may sound simple, but they are surprisingly powerful. When I first started out in public speaking, I certainly did not follow these ideas. What I often found was when I actually spoke slower rather than faster, even though I covered less content and less ideas, your audience is almost guaranteed to be more absorbed and to retain more information than if you simply communicate in a complex, jumbled mess. Because at the end, you can have the best idea in the world, the best amount of knowledge. But if those ideas never make it into somebody's mind, they simply cannot create impact. And that is why making yourself a better communicator by adopting the 3 simple tricks: speaking with structure, breaking up your complex ideas, and speaking slowly and understandably, you allow your ideas to actually reach people and to make a positive impact. Once again, if you've enjoyed this video and feel that communication is, in fact, a valuable skill to utilize and have in your professional or personal life, please feel free to like, comment, subscribe, or share at your convenience. Otherwise, have a great day.